Hello, my name is Rai and welcome back to the channel. This video is primarily for Dungeon Masters or Game Masters. So if you are not one, maybe once you decide to start trying it out, you can use this video to help you, or you can give it to your Dungeon Master and maybe help them out. But either way, just happy to have you here. Alright, on to the topic at hand. And the one that you obviously clicked on the video for because you read the title. What is the main driving force of your D&D campaign's plot and story? Is it you, the DM, or is it your players? Those are like the two main broad ways to play D&D when it comes to pushing forward your plot and story. Either you have the one that D&D 5e mainly promotes, or you have something that is called a West Marches game. So D&D 5e, in my experience, primarily promotes the style of play where you and your players get together on a regular basis to play whatever content you have prepared for them, and they play through whatever plot points you have put forth in front of them. They get to choose how they interact with your content, but they kind of have to do the content that you put in front of them. Whereas a West Marches game, from how I understand it, is basically sort of the opposite. The players get together and decide, I want to play this type of game with these people, and these are the times that we're free to do it. Hey, DM, would you be okay with that? And you as the DM can decide, oh hey, that's a really cool idea, and I'm actually free on this day too, and that should give me plenty of time to prepare it, so yeah, sure, let's do it. Either way, you, the DM, are going to be preparing content, and your players are going to be plowing through it. But in the one that D&D 5e primarily promotes, it's about whatever you decide to make for your players. Whereas the West Marches game is all about the players deciding what they want to do. One is primarily made up by you, and the other is primarily driven by what your players want to do. In my opinion, there is no objective best one. Neither one is purely and obviously and undeniably better. It really is purely up to whatever works best with you and your table. And I don't think you should be looked down upon or put down for however you prefer to play. I'm primarily bringing this up so that you can just figure out either or both which one you are and which one you would like to be. I have my own opinions on the matter, but the main question I wanted to bring up is, are you the one who's pushing your plot forward, or are your players pushing the plot forward? That's the main question I wanted to ask, and which one would you be more interested in playing? And even if you have gotten used to playing one way and that's the main way that you want to play, I personally think that you should try out the other. So if you primarily do what D&D 5e promotes, maybe try out a West Marches game for a little bit. Or if you primarily do West Marches games, you can try out for a session or two what D&D 5e primarily promotes and get some feedback from your players and figure out which one just works better with your table so that you can have a better experience for your players and for yourself. Anyway, that is the main part of the video, and if all you wanted was the neutral, non-biased information about it, in my opinion, which makes it a bit biased. Anyway, if that's what you were here for, that's the video. Now I'm going to be talking about a bit more opinionated stuff. Okay, so in my opinion, I really like the West Marches game style a lot. I haven't gotten to try it out a lot, but I'm planning on trying it out a lot more. Okay, so I am a DM, and I run a one-on-one campaign with me and my girlfriend. She is an amazing player, so anything I say, don't think I'm bashing on her or putting her down or anything. She is literally one of the best players I could ask for, and I'm not just saying that because she's my girlfriend. But she is very new to Dungeons & Dragons, and I am fairly new to DMing. I've done a lot of research and a lot of that stuff, but I don't have much experience behind the screen itself or at least I didn't at the time. I have a bit more now. And so because of that, at the start of the campaign, I wanted it to be a simpler experience. Just a simpler, easier experience for both of us to have fun with. So we started with how D&D 5e primarily promotes playing the game, which is I, the DM, make content and have these specific plot points set up for the players to go through, and then put it in front of the players, and they do that. Just because that made it easier on her since she was a new player, and it made it easier on me because I pretty much knew what was going to happen, and I didn't need a whole ton of work to be able to run it. So what had ended up happening is she actually ended up getting in over her head. She was fighting some evil knights, and basically by herself, with a single invisibility potion, and her level 3 fighter self, went off and fought a whole militia of evil knights by herself. So obviously that didn't go super well, and she ended up actually losing the battle, and the evil knights could have just killed her there, but me knowing the evil knights, thought about it for a second and realized they wouldn't just kill her. No. They'd want to get more out of her than that. And they knew from how much they've had to deal with her that she would not make a very good foot soldier. She would not make a good part of the army. And so instead, the next best thing they could think of is they just clonked her over the head and quite literally just sold her into slavery. Yep, within the first few sessions of her first campaign, her character was sold into slavery. It's not all bad, don't worry. She got sold to this dude named Mr. Brew, a very big character in my setting. He basically told her, "Hey, so I bought you, you're my slave now, and I have a great idea for how to use you. I have this letter I need to be delivered to this important person, this important noble, who's like halfway across the world. So here, I'll give you this letter, I'll give you some gear, I'll even give you a boat to get over there. Just get over there, and as soon as you deliver the letter, you are free from me, and you are no longer in slavery." And because she was in slavery, she did not have a lot of choice in the matter. She kind of had to, because this was the only way that she could get free right now. Now, don't scream at me in the comments, "Oh, that's railroading, you're a horrible DM, what are you doing, what's wrong with you?" Because she had a ton of choice in the matter. It's just, her overall long goal was just chosen for her. It was her choice in how she got there and how she did it. Anyway, so, and just to let you know what I'm about to say so you don't freak out, our sessions have to be a little bit shorter because we're busy. And so they're usually, instead of like the 4, 5, even 6 hour long sessions that some games have, our sessions are generally around 2.5 hours. A lot shorter. But anyway, so for the next couple sessions, she ended up just trying to get to this place and delivering this letter. And it was all chosen by me, and she got to choose a lot of the details, but the overall plot points that she went through and the steps she went to get there were very heavily influenced by me and what I decided to prepare for her, aka what D&D 5e primarily promotes. And it worked very well for us. But I have heard plenty about the downsides of this way of play, where some players just struggle to engage with the world and really seem to care about it, and DMs get frustrated with it. I have not had that issue because I have literally one of the best players I could have ever asked for. She engages with the world and she cares about it and she tries and she has a lot of fun with it as well, and she doesn't fight my rule as DM, and it's very helpful. So it wasn't much of an issue for me, but I wanted to give her the chance to make those choices for herself. I wanted something more like a West Marches game, but I knew I couldn't do that until she got free of slavery. And so I bided my time and just made content for her until finally, around 15 to 20 sessions later, yes, it took that long. Again, only 2 to 2.5 hour sessions. But that's still a lot of sessions. She finally got over there, delivered the letter, got a bunch of useful information, met a bunch of cool people along the way, and now the world is basically opened up to her, and she is free to go whatever direction she wants and to do whatever she'd like. That's where I stepped back, had a mid-campaign session 0, had a little talk with her, and I discussed with her what my plans were for the rest of the campaign, which was basically she decides what she wants to do. It is no longer up to me, and if she wants to go back to it being up to me, she's going to have to tell me. Basically, I'm trying out this other style of play. We have not started the next session of this campaign with this new style of play yet, but from what I've heard about it, I'm very excited about it, and in my opinion, maybe not with her as a player, but with other future tables of players that might include her, might not, will be better off for it, because the choices that the players make and the adventures that they go on and the things that they do are completely focused and done by them, not chosen by me. And so the players will obviously care more and engage more with the world because they're the reason why they're out here doing this thing, not because this is what I made. It's because this is what they wanted to do. And so that's why I'm personally leaning more towards that. But again, there's nothing wrong with the way that the D&D 5e game promotes. There's nothing wrong with playing it that way, if that just works better for you and your table. So it's completely up to you, and I mainly just want to bring it up because I thought it was an interesting topic. But that is my personal opinionated part of the video done. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up, and I hope that you all have an amazing rest of your day. Have a very blessed day, and fare thee well.